Meet me. All right, welcome back, boys. So I forgot to do this for Jacko, but don't worry. We're gonna do a first impressions video of this new hero, Aria. I have not seen this yet, so we're gonna watch this together. I just wrapped up work, and let's see what's going on. So, Ice Mage. I usually skip this like intro part. Whatever. I'll lower the volume and we'll watch some of it together. She's a shadow elf. I don't really know the story, so I don't know where Natalon is. Alright, whatever. That's as much as I can take of that. Alright, let's see her stats. So, one of you guys will tell me what an analog to this hero is. Someone always comments. But, wow, she actually has a lot of crit chance, decent speed. Looks kind of squishy. Also has effectiveness and her stats are kind of all over the place. So usually the stats give you a clue as to what the hero's supposed to do. Like if they have effectiveness, they almost always, or as far as I know, always have some kind of debuff on their abilities. Stuff like that. But she has stats all over the place. I don't really know. Wait, she has a self-defense imprint, so defense scaling hero, and a front and back defense imprint as well. So defense scaling mage, maybe? We'll see. Let's find out. Alright, so a lot of heroes, their most important move does tend to be their S2. Actually, 1 second. Am I recording this? Yes, I am recording this. Okay, so Guide of Darkness increases crit chance by 20%. Okay, so that explains her high crit. As the caster's health decreases, critical hit damage increases up to a maximum of 50%. After using a skill, when focus is full, consumes all focus to activate Dark Shadow Phantom. Dark Shadow Phantom attacks all enemies, dispelling 2 buffs and decreasing combat readiness by 30%. Damage dealt increases. So the thing with focus moves is you can't really open with them, right? Unless she has a move that gives her like 5 focus. So, yeah, definitely not like an opener hero, or at least this move isn't an opener move. Let's take a look at it. She has counter buff. Not a whole lot of damage. What does it seem? There's no Aureus on the team. Crit the APOC for like 3,300. Pushed them back though. Wait, did that stun? No, they were already stunned from something. So it doesn't look like a particularly hard-hitting ability. Obviously, we don't know the stats. Alright, skill 3, the Umbral Hour. Using the power of the shadows, increase defense of the caster and adopts a counter-attacking stance, so that's the counter buff that we just saw. Grants stealth and a barrier to all allies except the caster for 2 turns. Barrier strength increases proportional to the caster's defense. Oh man. Alright, let's just see the animation. Okay, so nothing special there. Not attack skill. Okay, so there is no other hero in the game that does this, right? So this is very interesting. As far as I know, there is not a single hero in the game that can give another hero stealth. Can I think of any? Can Rin do it with her random buffs? No, I've versed Rin a bunch of times. I've never seen her give anyone stealth. And on top of that, it gives stealth to the entire team. So the funny thing about this move is it forces them to attack Aria unless they can strip this, right? They can obviously strip or unbuffable the stealth and barrier off the rest of your team. But this can actually be pretty amusing. If they don't have a strip, they're basically forced into attacking Aria every single turn, because that's the problem with a lot of counter heroes in the game, right? Like, it's the reason why counter heroes like Rem and Charles and like Reliant are good, but ML Ken wasn't. It's because if it's single target, like a lot of those heroes get ignored, and usually the trade-off for being a counter hero is you take very few turns and you don't, do that much damage output when you don't counter. But this hero funnels everyone into her, so they have to hit her. Now the problem with this is she's very counterable, right? Like if you unbuffable her, she's screwed. If you stun her, she has. As far as I could tell, she doesn't really have any way of stop. She can't even cleanse herself with anything, which is fine. I'm not saying that she should, but I feel like there's many ways to shut this down. Well, let's look at her S1 first. Shadow Call attacks two enemies with a 40% chance to decrease hit chance for 1 turn, damage dealt proportional to defense, and it grants an extra turn. What's the cooldown on this? 5 turns, 4 turns. So she could actually probably have pretty high uptime on this if she burns. Okay, let's see. So it looks like they have her built on counter. What was that artifact? Is he using the F10 artifact? What's her artifact? If the caster attacks when it's not their turn, damage dealt increases by 16%, and after attacking has a 50% chance to inflict a random debuff, decrease defense. Oh wow, Death Break is on this. Decrease speed, silence, or unable to be buffed. Honestly, all of those are really good debuffs. This artifact actually looks like it could be pretty solid. I mean, the problem with all mage artifacts is, I've said this a million times, Abyssal, Tagahells, and Violin are so good that it's very hard to justify using anything other than those 3 artifacts. I mean, in some cases, like AOL is Spirit's Breath, but in the vast majority of cases, like Tagahells, Crown, those are just what you go with. And honestly, you could use Crown on this hero too. It might be even more toxic. Like everyone's forced to attack her, and she's constantly counterattacking, hitting 2 heroes, and crowning them in the face. That sounds like it could be a lot more toxic than 16% extra damage, because honestly, from what I'm seeing, she doesn't hit particularly hard, right? Like 16% of 2k, do you really care? Or would you rather have like a 25% chance to stun them and ruin their entire day? So damage output wise, she's almost looking to me like a Champ Z. Like Champ Z doesn't really hit that hard, but against the right team, he can be very toxic and annoying. So here's what I think about this hero. I actually like her. From looking at it, who knows? Maybe this will be really broken and annoying in practice, but the thing is, there's so many strips in the game right now, I feel like it's not that big a deal, because, there would have been a time where granting stealth and a barrier to everyone on the team and giving yourself counter buff, that sounds very broken, right? Because what are you going to do? You're just going to build a super stacked Aria with insane HP and defense, and maybe just stick Crown on her and have her just sit there and counter the crap out of everyone, stunning like crazy. It almost just sounds like another toxic, annoying counter hero. So actually, this hero might be pretty toxic. But if you see this, like, you should have plenty of options to remove this stealth from the other people on the team. And also, she doesn't really have like an immunity or anything, so you're gonna have to pair with something to protect her, because counter buff is not that scary if you can just stun them or whatever, do something to shut them down. But also, she's a water, she's not an ML or anything, so she can be countered by using opposite element heroes, especially if this weird frenzy RGB thing doesn't go away. But I always like defense scaling heroes. I've always been a bruiser player. I like defense scaling. I have to say this hero definitely seems unusual. Potentially broken, but not super outwardly broken. You would have to, I don't know, I don't play around with like that tool before I watch these videos, so it really depends on what kind of stats you can get with her. If you can literally get her to like an unkillable stat line, that might be pretty annoying. But also remember, a lot of the annoying counter heroes in the game are annoying because they have self-sustain and they just keep healing themselves. Aria cannot do that. There's nothing in it. You could put her on lifesteal set, I guess, and ignore counter set because she has her own built-in counter stance. So I guess a lot of people might run her on lifesteal, but her damage is so pitiful from what I'm seeing from this video, at least. Like, the lifesteal just won't do that much, right? Unless you try to run her low HP and high defense to maximize the percentage of your life that you're healing from lifesteal. But then she's susceptible to being one-shotted by a lot of the units in the game now that one-shot anything, like Hua Young or Rimuru or whatever. So, should be pretty interesting. So yeah, clearly an RTA hero. If you're not interested in RTA, I definitely don't think this hero is particularly important. But that's like pretty much every new hero nowadays. I think in RTA, I'm definitely interested to see how she performs. I think she'll be okay, honestly. I think like Solitaria might shut her down. There might be some other counters to her. But in general, I don't really like this hero just because I think it's going to be one of these annoying toxic crown heroes where, you know, sometimes you're just going to dumpster her and she does nothing, and the other times you're going to want to throw your keyboard because she just keeps stunning your entire team and being a general pain in the ass. Just think of like old school Dizzy. And on top of that, she's going to be very tanky and hard to kill. So I don't know if I like her kit overall, but I don't think it's like, from what I could see so far, super busted or broken or anything. And again, I could be completely wrong. You guys can come back to this video and make fun of me. I don't think this hero will be too big of a problem, but I think she'll definitely be usable and definitely on the more toxic side of it when she is usable. As for her artifact, looks pretty solid. I feel like it's probably going to be good in like certain expos or something. In PvP, I don't know. Like, it's not that it's bad, it's just Violin, Tagahells, or Crown. If I have more copies of them, am I really going to want to use this instead of them? I don't think so. I might probably stick it on like a second tier mage that I don't draft very often, but I mean, in general, those artifacts are just so good that it's hard to justify not using them, especially on a hero that doesn't seem to do that much damage from the showcase. Do I really care about basically an Exorcist Tonfa? I almost feel like the debuff is the better part here, but there's probably some other hero that benefits from this way better than she does. But again, most mages still benefit from those 3 artifacts I mentioned. So anyways, that's my first impression. What do you guys think? Am I completely off base? Is this the most broken hero in Epic 7? If I missed anything, and I usually do, feel free to share it in the comment section below. I will upvote it. If I agree with you, I will heart it so everyone sees it. But yeah, overall, I like her design. I think she's a cool new hero. Looks like they're trying to do some new things. I don't think she's super busted. My main concern with her is that her playstyle seems kind of toxic, and seems like something I'm really not going to want to deal with. Seems like it's going to be a lot of RNG and stuff involved in playing this hero. But, you know, welcome to Epic 7. So anyways, thanks for watching. Share your own thoughts. Until next time. Peace out, boys.